Hi everyone, I'm here at City Hall where we're flying our flag half-mast, and I wanted to share with you, I just got back to San Mateo after spending the afternoon in Half Moon Bay with some of the Chinese survivors of the Half Moon Bay shooting. They are really traumatized, having lost friends and coworkers. They, as farm workers, live in their place of work, so they are talking about the fear that they're experiencing, and even the idea of having to return to their farm or to their residence. And I was very heartened to see all the support that's coming out from leadership and from the county. Our county manager, Mike Calgi, was there talking with the survivors, and even our governor, Gavin Newsom, showed up and met with the survivors. And everyone is surrounding them with support and resources. There are two incredible organizations, nonprofits, that are really stepping up. One is Coastside Hope, and the other is Coastside Senior Center. Both of those nonprofit organizations have been instrumental in providing wraparound services to the Latinx and the Chinese immigrant survivors who have had this incredibly unimaginable trauma that they're still trying to cope with. The survivors talked about how they haven't been able to sleep and are barely able to eat. They shared their stories of not even really having any exposure to guns, living and growing up in China, where there's very restrictive gun policies and regular people are not able to buy guns. They described how the suspect, when the suspect shot their coworkers, they didn't even connect the sound of the shotguns with what was happening. They had never heard a gunshot before, and when they saw their coworkers fall to the ground, they ran to them, not even fearing for their life, and just trying to see what had happened. Had they fallen down? Were they were they feeling faint? And it wasn't until they were trying to revive their coworkers that they realized that they were shot. And they're in deep states of grief. There was crying, there was numbness, there was disbelief, and real fear. They're afraid for the lost wages. They, as farm workers, if they don't work, they don't get paid, and long term, they are concerned about housing and not wanting to return to the scene of the crime and not feeling safe where they live and work. And I was very happy to hear that the county has stepped up and will be providing some temporary gap income to each household, which is very appreciated. And I think overall, they felt incredible gratitude for the support that's surrounding them, but also spoke very bluntly about the isolation that they experience as API immigrants, the lack of resources and support, and their embarrassment to even avail themselves of that support. And one of the things that happened that I thought was worth noting was they were asked multiple times if they wanted to meet with the governor and with our county manager, and they refused multiple times. And one of the reasons for refusing was not wanting to be the center of attention, and feeling ashamed and and lacking confidence in their own experience or their own ability to advocate for themselves, not knowing what to ask for. And myself and the executive director of Civic Leadership USA, Anthony Ng, who's also a wonderful faith leader, he and I sat with them and ate lunch and talked about, just got to know them and help bridge some of those gaps and give them the encouragement that I think they really needed to take those meetings. And I think, one of the takeaways from that experience is recognizing the importance of having bridges in leadership and having bridges in community, so that people who are most vulnerable, that are most in need, that are suffering silently, can actually cross the threshold and take those meetings and cross the threshold and ask for what they need and ask for the support that they need. And so it was definitely a moment that really crystallized the importance of having representation and having a diverse leadership base that can help be those bridges. And the other I think the other really important takeaway is in our API community, there's still a lot of stigma about using mental health care, about the legitimacy of us all needing emotional support, that's true for every human that walks this earth. And so I just want to put it out there to everyone who's watching and in this moment to extend yourself to your loved ones, reach out, be an ear, and also let people in. Like that makes a difference. Us as API members, I think we can do a better job in sort of stripping away the stigma in this generation. I think our young people have really led the charge on that and centering the need for mental health care in the API community, and also making visible and the very real needs in our community, and dispelling the model minority myths that actually perpetuate the under-resourced policies and the under-resourced community services that really are needed in our API community. So I want to be a voice for that, and I want to remind everyone, we're all feeling really vulnerable and really tender right now, that like those small conversations, just sitting with people, extending yourself, asking how you can help, all of that adds up to a safer, more supportive community for all of us. And if you have the ability to donate, there are two really incredible organizations on the ground that are doing tremendous work for the survivors of the shooting in Half Moon Bay, and that's Coastside Senior Center and Coastside Hope. So those are two organizations I want to elevate and appreciate, and much gratitude to them and their leadership, as well as our county manager and our governor, who showed up for our county when we needed them. So thank you so much.